Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Food and Farm Show. I'm Gil Dominguez.
And I'm Cheryl Noble. Today we are at the Master Gardeners demonstration garden for their annual spring plant sale.
This is a really big event for the Master Gardeners, Cheryl, and one of two plant sales that they have each year. All the proceeds go to fund the Master Gardeners activities that they do all year long. And there are hundreds of people that will be here today to pick up their tomatoes and their peppers and their perennials and all the things that the Master Gardeners have grown just for this event. They're already up there at the starting line.
Yep, lined up early.
Yeah, they are waiting for the rope to drop, and they'll rush all down here. And I always hear the tomatoes are the first to go.
The first to go, and they're all looking ready to go, too. A little bit later in the program, I'll get a chance to talk with one of today's organizers and a few of the customers and learn a little bit more about this very popular event.
And also on today's show, we'll have our usual segment with Backyard Chickens with Janie Powers. And then our feature segment today is on composting. And that was an episode that we shot right here, Cheryl, at the Master Gardeners for their composting workshop. Mary Santicus will be joining us on that one. And that is something you really want to stay tuned for.
Remember, you can watch the Food and Farm Show every Monday night, Comcast Channel 11 and Suddenlink 16 and Auburn ACTV, and also 24/7 on our YouTube channel, which is the Food and Farm Show. It streams also on the web at nevadacountytv.org. And don't forget, join in the conversation with us on Facebook. You can find us there, the Food and Farm Show. So, Gil, want to get started?
Yeah, let's go. These plants aren't going to last out here forever. Right. After the break, we'll come back. We'll meet some of the Master Gardeners and talk to the customers here at the plant show at Master Gardeners. You're watching the Food and Farm Show right here on the Touchdown Productions Network. Grass Valley Hay and Feed Supply is dedicated to the health of your pets and livestock. They offer the top brands in nutrition and carry the complete line of products from Bar Ale and Purina Animal Feeds along with Diamond and Canaday. They carry rice and wheat hay bales for your gardening needs, as well as alfalfa, grass hay, and grain for your livestock. It's Grass Valley Hay and Feed Supply, supporting Nevada County agriculture since 1992.
Spring is here. Time to visit the Garden Center at A to Z Supply. We have everything you need to plant it, grow it, preserve it, and eat it. With a master gardener and full-time beekeepers on staff, the Garden Center carries a wide selection of organic plants, along with people and pet-friendly products. And don't forget our weekly workshops at the Garden Center at A to Z Supply.
Nevada County Farm Supply has been part of the agricultural scene since 1993. Their staff consists of a certified crop advisor, licensed pest control advisor, and irrigation auditor. In Penn Valley, they have a full-service nursery with over 500 varieties of plants and garden enhancements. In Grass Valley, they have a warehouse full of soil amendments, fertilizers, and nutrients. Nevada County Farm Supply, powerful knowledge and innovative solutions.
Briar Patch Co-op and Natural Foods Community Market offers organic produce from over 30 regional farms and buys local organic produce from farms like River Hill, Sweet Roots, First Rain, Pyramid, and Mooney Flat. You can trust the Patch to hold their producers to the highest standards and always be certified organic. So get to the Patch, the Briar Patch, for organic produce.
Anything Green Hydroponics is your source for hydro systems, grow lights, and soils. Anything Green offers a complete range of organic nutrients as well as fungicides, miticides, and predatory bugs. Anything Green Hydroponics has just received this year's soil. Get your totes, pallets, or individual bags. Stay tuned for future workshops. It's all at Anything Green Hydroponics.
Well, the flurry of activity has quieted down a little bit, so I got a chance to catch up with Patricia Silva, who has a big role here in the Master Gardeners, don't you?
Yes, I do, but a lot of us do. I am the facilitator for the demonstration garden, and I've done that for about 2 years. And I'm running again, so we've had a lot of projects. We have a our pavilion that was built right before I became the facilitator, and we've added benches and tables and just done a lot of different things, added new areas in the garden, so it's been fabulous.
Nice. Let's talk about the plant sale for a second. You said before we went on that the tomatoes are the first people hit, and that's the most popular item. How many varieties are here?
I think we usually grow about 60 to 70 different varieties of tomatoes. And we do have a tomato tasting that happens in September where the plants that the master gardeners have grown are, we bring them here, we set them all up, we have taste bites, and people do a contest to see which ones they like the best.
Oh, I love it.
Oh, it's fabulous. First time I did it before I became a master gardener, it was just like, okay, sign me up, I'm on.
And this is probably why tomatoes are the most popular, because we want that taste of a true homegrown tomato.
Oh, absolutely. There's no comparison. Even the heirlooms that you get in the market, you notice how they are so soft. They're very hard to transport and stuff. They do get bruised. And so that's why, I mean, when they breed them for travel, they don't breed them for flavor. And so
Something's got to give.
yes. And so this has always been the most popular. As you saw the herd come down of people, it's just crazy. You know, we almost have to stay out of the way.
I know I did.
Or else you get run over. But
Yeah, people bring their carts and park them right up close and right next to the tables, and because they want to just load them up quickly.
oh, absolutely. So that and our peppers are our second favorites. I love growing the padrones are my favorites. As our, let's see, the tomatoes that won our taste contest were the Sungolds for the cherries, Sioux, and trying to remember what else. Another really good heirloom is Black Ethiopian, which is a lovely black and red tomato, smallish, and great slicer, great complex flavor like the blacks have.
Love it. We were talking before the program that this is just one of 3 fundraisers for master gardeners to facilitate and maintain your gardens here.
Right. We have we have 2 plant sales, one in spring, one in fall, and then we have our garden guide, Nevada County Garden Guide, which we sell, which is specific to this area as far as covering all areas of gardening, and those 3 things make up basically our fundraising for the year.
Can people come to the gardens any time of year and see the what's here and how it's grown?
Absolutely. It's open when NID is open. So the gates are open Monday through Friday. I think it's 8:30 to 5 or 5:30. And on the weekends, I believe they close at 3. And we have probably 8 or 9 different areas in the garden: Mediterranean garden, cottage garden, orchard, raised beds, gardening under oaks, native grasses. So it's a variety of plants that do well up here. And it's completely open. The deer can come in, the rabbits, the gophers, we've got them all. And we see what makes it and what doesn't. I mean, we also have an all-star program that we get plants. This is associated with UC.
The cooperative?
Yes, University of California Cooperative Extension, and we get all-stars that we try to grow in our climate and see how well they do, and we track them for usually a couple years. In fact, I just planted a lavender in the cottage garden, and it froze, so we lost it. So, we find out what works and what doesn't. We kind of push the border areas as far as zones, zone 7, 8. Sometimes we'll try an 8 because we're zone 7 here. And sometimes they'll make it and sometimes they won't. Right. So
and that's the way with our own gardens.
Absolutely.
Things sometimes work. Okay, tell us when the next fall one is, and next fall plant, is that tied around with the tomato tasting?
No, it's not around the tasting. The tasting will happen in September. In October is when we have our fall sale, and it is going to be, fall is the best time to plant of the year. So that is when you should plant your natives, you should plant your perennials, and your fall vegetable crop, your lettuces and your spinach and all your cold season crops. So that's what we sell at that sale.
Okay, so it's going to be October for the fall sale, and We surely appreciate all of the good work that you're doing in our community and all the information that you provide us. So thank you, Patricia.
Thank you very much. And it is a great organization. There's so many people that help do all of this. We have a ton of volunteers.
This is Master Gardener Dorinda Kelly.
Oh, my goodness, Mary, the composting lady. Yeah,
Okay,
thank you.
so tell me, what are the trends this year, Dorinda? You've been
For the
around.
purchasing. Everybody wants tomatoes. Tomatoes are number one, always have been for the last 4 or 5 years. However, I was really surprised to see how many people were going into and bringing out a lot of different peppers, more so not just your bell sweet peppers, but your very different gourmet type. Pardons and so forth, and they seem to really enjoy them. Good crowd, always excited. They come in, they go out. No, what is it? They come in, they conquer, and they go out very quickly.
Now, specifically on the tomato varieties, what won the taste test, and what did you find? Is there more interest in heirlooms?
Well, I'd have to tell you, because we do have the tomato contest, which comes up not too many months from now. And that's when we really do the tally as to what comes in as the favorite. Here I could only tell you that we had probably close to 30 different varieties of tomatoes this year, and stretched more in between your heirlooms and your hybrids. Mm-hmm. But as far as which one is the favorite, they'll have to come back to the tomato tasting show in September.
And which is your favorite?
Oh, I love it, yes.
Which is your favorite variety?
I like for a paste, I like the San Marzano for paste. I also have an Age 2, which is an Archie Good Eats, which is developed by a UC Davis professor of horticulture, and it's a delightful one. As far as cherry, you can't beat the Sun Gold. And then there's a very small one called the Red Currant, which dries up as a little raisin and is wonderful. Does that help?
Well, for just the taste, that pure explosive taste, what do you go with?
If I said a beefsteak, would you be upset? I just love beefsteak on a hamburger. I don't think you can beat it.
How did you conclude what to grab today?
There's Sun Gold tomatoes. I love their Sun Gold tomatoes, and I can't propagate them, so I come up here and then I go to their tasting sale in the fall and try out different types, and that's what I pick out. And just standing in line, you hear people talk, oh, I've tried these, and so I got to try a few of those.
You said you didn't know anything about tomatoes, but you're here on the biggest plant sale of the year.
That's because I'm looking for the pride of the Soviet Union, the former Soviet Union. It's called a creme brulee.
Oh, all right. Well, the supply is going fast.
I know. That's why I asked you.
I'm not a master gardener, but they are flying off the tables here, so you better go back in for the hunt.
I will. Thank you.
Good luck.
I'm a master gardener, and I sign people out for the tomato spring plant sale, and I also try to sit here and answer questions. So we have a beautiful booth here, all decorated with our daffodil projects, pictures, and then we have our garden guide that we sell for $27. That was written strictly by master gardeners for the public to buy. And my favorite part about the garden guide is that it has a month-to-month what to do in your garden on a month-to-month basis. So very enjoyable, a wealth of information. If you miss it, you have a chance to do the fall plant sale. They won't have the tomatoes, we'll have the tomato tasting then.
What do you have?
Eggplant, and then a ground cherry, pineapple, we've been told it was really excellent, and then a tomato that I haven't tried before. So,
how many times have you been to the plant sale?
Just our second time.
Second time? It's just crazy here. There's so many people.
There is.
What time did you get here?
About 20 till 9. So.
So yes, the line was forming early.
Yes, it was.
So you're a backyard gardener. How long have you been doing that?
Most of my adult life, so long time. So.
And the plants here are really well cared for and established.
They're excellent, and they're grown here, so it helps to climatize,
And support the master gardeners. Yes.
Absolutely.
You're a big buyer of native plants. Why is that?
Actually, I really love the plants that the Master Gardeners grow, and I've tried them a few years in a row, and they've done well, and I like supporting this whole organization that supports us, gardeners.
Very cool. And what have you got here?
I have peppers and eggplant, and verbenums and a spirea, 2 different varieties of that.
Have you been to this sale before?
Yes, every year.
For how long?
Probably about the last 5 years.
I found a garden goddess, Bernadette.
Hi, Cheryl. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you. What did you find today?
Well, we found a few things for our garden to fill in the gaps. So a few pepper plants. We love to grill peppers on our barbecue grill, and also we got some succulents, which are really nice because we've really gotten excited about making little succulent gardens out of abalone shells.
Oh, interesting.
So you put a bunch of little different succulent plants in a little abalone shell, and they make such great little tabletop decorations or just to have around.
And decorative for the garden.
Very decorative, yes. Good yard art.
Exactly. How many times have you been to the Master Gardener's plant sale?
You know what? This is my first time.
We're finding a lot of people today, first-timers, but it's so popular.
I was amazed when we drove up. There was a long line to get in,
Yes.
and I wouldn't have known about it if I wasn't part of the Garden Goddesses. So
Exactly.
I was glad to hear about it.
And what have you bought today?
I bought a tomato, 2 strawberry plants, a pepper plant, some kale, and one. What is this?
Looks like a
It's
dill.
dill. Yeah.
Do you have a nice garden?
I have a very small garden, and it's kind of starting out.
Well, guess what? I found Bill again, and it looks like he found his perfect tomato. What did you find?
Well, I could not find my creme brulee, but I did find the Côte de Bouille. It's an Italian, and according to one of the master gardeners, I had to try it. She said it was delicious. So
What is it going to look like?
well, it's a red tomato, but kind of unique, reddish, purplish, and it's not perfectly round, so it doesn't look perfect, but she said it tastes great.
Yummy. Well, you're also a first-timer, you said, and there were so many first-time people here, and everybody's just amazed at the quality and the variety of plants.
Oh, it blew me away. We got here just before 9 thinking, there'll be 20, 30 people, but obviously it's a popular event.
Popular event. There's one in the fall, so mark your calendar.
I will.
What have you bought?
Yeah, I bought about 10 tomato plants and a couple pepper plants.
Big garden?
It's medium size, not too big.
I found another happy gardener. What's your name?
Richard Miller.
Richard, you've got your cart and a box. You're loaded.
Well, I'm married to the quintessential gardener, and so she brings me along to bring everything up that hill.
Is that why you're resting after all the
A
shopping?
list. I approached the tomato section here with a list. She says, get these. I have them all, and I'm waiting for her now.
How many times have you been to the plant sale?
4. This is my 4th year.
What time did you get here?
8:15.
Very early, one of the first ones.
Yes. Yep.
You got the cream of the crop, it looks like.
Right. She has a list of things she has to have for the garden. I made sure that I got them all, and I've learned when you go in there, you ask other people, did you see such and such? And they'll say, oh, yeah, go over here.
You've got it mapped out and a strategy.
Yes. Yeah, I have so much fun. I'm married to the gardener. I dig holes. That's all I do, and schlep this cart around.
You are interested in tomatoes.
Well, we love tomatoes, but we grow a lot of other things too.
Do you have a big garden?
Not really big, but we have a few fruit trees and probably 8 different varieties of fruit and vegetable.
Have you been coming to this sale for years?
3 or 4 years, but boy, it gets bigger every year. It's huge.
We're here with Lynn Lawrence, and I wanted to ask Lynn about what the weather's been like and how that impacts when we plant our vegetables.
Well, we're a little bit cold, even though this hasn't been a rainy season. The ground temperature is cold. I have a thermometer in my ground, and for the first time today in the morning, the temperature of the ground was 60 degrees. And that's the minimum temperature to plant out summer vegetables. So I'm going to wait a week. Yes, just to make sure, because you don't get a head start by putting them in cold soil. And also, you'd like to have a 55-degree temperature for the nighttime low. Otherwise, they start getting shocked, stressed, then they don't perform nearly as well. So Remember, summer vegetables are summer vegetables. Don't plant those beans and all that kind of stuff yet because they want soil temperatures of 75 to 85 degrees. And that's, 25 degrees away from now. Leave your soil uncovered after you plant your plants. Don't cover them with mulch. Bare soil's the warmest. When it gets to be July and it's hotter than you know what, then put your nice mulch on the top to keep the roots cool and damp. But now you want them as warm as possible to get a head start so they think they're growing in the subtropics.
Okay, so bare soil now, mulch when it gets hotter than
blazes.
Blue blazes.
Blue blazes.
Thanks, Lynn.
All right. And any special kind of tomato that you picked up?
This one's a tomato flame for making sauces.
Ooh, sauces.
She got this one for canning, I do believe.
Purple calabash. Interesting. How many times have you been to the plant sale?
This is my first year, but my friend comes every year.
What did you buy today?
Well, you can see we bought tomatoes and cucumbers and a couple of succulents and a tiger lily. And
Tiger lily, so that's a native.
I hope so.
Let's ask
I'm not
Sandy.
sure. She's shaking her head no, so I would say
Tiger
no.
lily is no. It's the leopard lily that's a native.
Ah.
We're here with Sandy Cuman, who's a master gardener specializing in native plants.
Good morning.
And there's a lot more interest, would you say, in natives lately?
There's a growing interest. There's a growing interest in natives, California natives, and we try to grow the natives that are native to our area as much as possible. Today we've got some coast lilies, Pacific Coast lilies. They do fine here, but for the most part we try to get natives that are right here from Nevada City, Nevada County.
And is there also a Pacific Coast iris?
That's really what I meant to say, Pacific Coast iris. Yeah.
And what are people buying today?
Well, we have a limited selection today because fall isn't the typical time, the really great time to plant natives. So we've got coral bells, heuchera, and the Pacific Coast iris, and blue-eyed grass, and some western raspberries, California native raspberries. So that's and we've got some grasses too that are right from Nevada County, deer grass and gamma grass.
So in the fall you'll have different things to sell.
We'll have some of the same ones, and also a much bigger variety, because they'll do best when planted in the fall, right before the rains come and during the rains.
So for information about the fall sales, Sandy, where do they go?
They can go to the Nevada County Master Gardener website, and we'll have the dates of the plant sales there.
I'm here with Gretchen Barretta, who is the longest member here for Master Gardeners, and a chance to catch up and talk with her and learn a little bit more about the group. Thank you.
Sure, it's nice to be here. We love this event because it's our main fundraiser, and most of the funds go towards this beautiful garden that you see right now. NID gave us the land back in 1991, and they also provide us with the water and electricity. Nice. But all the rest of the hardscape you see here is what we have purchased with our loyal fans that come and buy a lot of tomatoes, peppers, and then in the fall we have a lot of natives. So look forward to our plant sale again in the fall.
When was the demonstration garden put in?
Well, we started in '91, and of course with all the legal documents and everything, it took a year to get a contract going, but we've been working since '91 ever since.
And it's grown. What are some of the new elements here in the demonstration garden?
Well, the very first thing was up at the top of the hill was an herb garden, and now that is more of a low water garden where we're using the shade structure that NID helped construct maybe a year ago on that, where all the plants are in there. We're using that as our house, and then working out so that close to the house are high water users for the fire retardant possibilities. And as you get further away, we've got plants that don't need as much water. And one of the first things to go in, of course, was our orchard, since it takes the trees a while to grow and
establish.
Yes. So way back when, Ernie Beerwagon gave us about half of our fruit trees. He was a director, of course, with NID. A lot of people will remember him. And he gave us a beautiful silver Logan peach tree and some other wonderful apples and pears that we have down there. And also Fowler's Nursery gave us the other half of the trees. So we've got some, and we've added to the trees almost every year. We've got some Italian plums in there, and we've got berries, we've got blueberries now. We've got a little area where Cub Scouts back in 2000 planted 4 trees in one hole to show that anybody can have a fruit salad.
That's how you do it?
Yeah, the poor apricot died, but the plum and the peach and the nectarine are still doing okay.
Good. How many years ago was that?
That was about year 2000.
Okay. Oh,
and I was teaching a pruning class on dormant pruning up there in our annex. And the little guys came in and they were muddy because it was a terrible January gale
rain
day. Oh, it was hail, it was sleet, it was just awful. And some of the people that were trying to listen to how to prune their trees correctly, these little guys came in after working so hard, and the people turn around and go, shh. It's like, but they were so sweet.
Oh, what a great story. So Gretchen, as the longest member with this group, how many years have you been with Master Gardeners?
I took the class in '88, which meant going down to Hazel in Sacramento when Pam Bone was the farm advisor down there. There were 5 counties, and we had 100 people in the room, and the energy was just amazing. So it was really nice to carpool with people all that way, to, on the way back, say, did you hear that? And explain this to me again, because I didn't quite get it. And so it was really good to have 4 people in the car that we could compress off of.
and it took off from there, and so here you are with the annual spring plant sale, and today was certainly a tremendous success. I think before the very last tomato plant goes, I'm not a green thumb person, but this has inspired me to start something of my own. So Gretchen, thank you so much for your time. And what tomato plant do you think I should get?
You know, Phyllis is our big expert on those, and she is there in that wonderful plaid shirt. She will be able. But now some of the tomatoes are beautifully tall, and you know with tomatoes you can plant the stem up after you take off some of those lower leaves.
Yes.
And then you'll have a fabulous root system.
Got it. I'm on it. Okay, thank you, Gretchen, so much. Take care.
I'm here with Peggy, who is a master gardener, and you have to see her t-shirt. So Peggy, what's your favorite tomato variety?
My favorite tomato variety has to be pineapple. I've had a truly dysfunctional relationship with this tomato for years. One year it'll be wonderful, and the next 2 years it breaks my heart, but I keep remembering how good it was the first time. So I keep planting pineapple tomatoes.
It's a cherry tomato?
No, it's a full-size tomato.
Oh, okay. Any other varieties?
Let's see. I like Juliet. Juliet is a cherry. It's a cross between a plum type and a cherry type. It will grow even in partial shade. It is a great tomato. Keeps on growing till November.
From the pure taste point of view, though, regardless of difficulty, what would you go with?
I would go with the pineapple.
Sun Gold here. Okay, thanks.
Time for our second break of the day. When we come back, it's Backyard Chickens with Janie Powers, our weekly segment. You're watching the Food and Farm Show. Since 2009, Creative Coops has been committed to helping people live a more sustainable lifestyle. Their chicken coops are made right here in Grass Valley. Their innovative design allows for easy expansion for 3, 6, or 10 chickens. Creative Coops keeps your chickens safe from predators.
Spring is here. Time to visit the Garden Center at A to Z Supply. We have everything you need to plant it, grow it, preserve it, and eat it. With a master gardener and full-time beekeepers on staff, the Garden Center carries a wide selection of organic plants, along with people and pet-friendly products. And don't forget our weekly workshops at the Garden Center at A to Z Supply.
Cuvée leather kitchenware. Kitchenware that lasts a lifetime. Made from genuine leather suede, Cuvée kitchenware comes in a variety of colors and has been featured on the Food Network. Leather is the perfect kitchenware. It is a natural insulator, washable, and non-flammable. Cuvée leather kitchenware, chefware, and tableware. Unique kitchenware to complement your favorite place. Create, entertain, and be you.
Briar Patch Co-op Natural Foods Community Market offers organic produce from over 30 regional farms and buys local organic produce from farms like River Hill, Sweet Roots, First Rain, Pyramid, and Mooney Flat. You can trust the Patch to hold their producers to the highest standards and always be certified organic. So get to the Patch, the Briar Patch, for organic produce.
Welcome back to the Food and Farm Show. Now it's time for Janie Powers and Backyard Chickens.
They were doing what chickens do whenever they're waiting or walking or whatever, they're pooping. So they were pooping on the porch. So what I would recommend, rather than putting a flat board, I would put like a 2-inch like you would have for the roost, so they can perch on it, but they can poop down on the floor. And you can buy nest, oops. Uh-oh, uh-oh. Okay, where's my tech support? I always do this at least once during the presentations. Okay, so this is the, thank you, tech support. So this is the inside of the nest, and no, that is not a green Americana egg. But sometimes if you want to encourage your girls to use a particular nest box, you can put something in there. A golf ball works, a Easter egg works. If you want to be really fancy, you can go to Ridge Feed and they will sell you artificial eggs. And they don't have to be fancy. One of the favorite nest boxes for my girls is one of those tubs that you can buy that, at any of the feed stores or the home and garden stores. They love these things. And they're, just put it over in a corner, and there you go. It's a ready-made nest box. Now you're going to need something for the floor. Let's go back. There are 3 different floors that you can have. There's your dirt floor, there's a wooden floor, and there's a concrete floor. Those are the 3 main floors that you're going to find. A dirt floor is the cheapest and it's the easiest because it's there. It's the dirt. But it's hard to keep clean. And also it gets wet because chickens, even though you've got the water and a special waterer, they'll still splash some out. If they're going in and out and it's wet outside, it's going to get wet and it's going to get pooped on and it's going to be messy. The second one is a wooden floor. If you use floorboards, they're nice, but there's those cracks between the different boards. The poop gets down in those cracks and it's really hard to clean off. Concrete floor is the most expensive, but it's really the easiest to clean and keep nice. And also it's predator proof. Nothing's going to dig under your concrete floor. Now what we have in our chicken houses, we have gravel. It's about 12 inches thick, and on top of the gravel we have stall mats like you would use for your horse stalls, and then on top of that we have the litter. And any moisture can get through the cracks in the stall mats, and then it drains through the gravel, and it works out really well. Just keep in mind that when you're doing this, you want to do it right the first time, because there's nothing worse than cutting corners the first time and being sorry and having to go back and redoing it or saying, this isn't working. So try to do it right the first time, even if it might take a little more effort and a little more money. You've heard about a droppings pit. I never could quite understand why someone would want this, but the concept is that you put a wire frame over the area where the roost is, and the droppings fall through the wire, and the chickens supposedly can't walk in the droppings, and it keeps things clean. Well, what I found is what happens is the dropping sticks to the wire, and the chickens are walking in the droppings anyway. So I don't recommend a dropping pit. What I like to do is I differentiate the area where the roost is from the rest of the chicken house. And in this case, I've used 4x4s, and then I can put a nice layer of litter under the roost. And then if you're going to clean, you're just cleaning that roost area out. And I like to use cedar shavings because the little pests and so forth don't like cedar, and also it smells good. It's kind of like a disinfectant. So I found that a little roost area like that works out very well. Outside is just as important as the inside. Again, the best thing to do is to have a covered area so that the chickens can go out there during the rain. And it's hard to remember, but there have been some years where we have had continuous rain. And the chickens, they don't like it. They will stay inside. They will make a mess in your chicken house, and you'll be cleaning it up. Or if they do go out, they're flopping through the mud, and that's also messy too. What we're using at the top, you can see the chicken yard is covered with decomposed granite, also known as DG. However, the problem that happened with decomposed granite, or DG, is everybody discovered what a great material it is. And people from the Bay Area started importing the DG from here down there, and they were paying good prices for it. So the prices of it went up, and it really got to the point where it was hard to afford it for a chicken yard. But they also have a new thing. This is it at the bottom. It's called crusher dust. And it's very similar to DG, except that where DG is sort of a reddish clay colored, crusher dust is sort of a gray color. It's quite a bit less expensive, and it works the same way.
Thanks, Janie. We'll see you next week. It's time now for our final break of the day, and when we come back, we'll go to Master Gardener's composting workshop with Mary Sanicus. You're watching the Food and Farm Show.
Since 2009, Creative Coops has been committed to helping people live a more sustainable lifestyle. Their chicken coops are made right here in Grass Valley. Their innovative design allows for easy expansion for 3, 6, or 10 chickens. Creative Coops keeps your chickens safe from predators, are well ventilated, with spacious nesting boxes, making backyard chickens fun for the whole family. It's Creative Coops, bringing backyard chickens to your home.
Spring is here. Time to visit the Garden Center at A to Z Supply. We have everything you need to plant it, grow it, preserve it, and eat it. With a master gardener and full-time beekeepers on staff, the Garden Center carries a wide selection of organic plants, along with people and pet-friendly products. And don't forget our weekly workshops at the Garden Center at A to Z Supply.
Introducing Cuvée Leather Kitchenware. Kitchenware that lasts a lifetime. Made from genuine leather suede, Cuvée kitchenware comes in a variety of colors and has been featured on the Food Network. Leather is the perfect kitchenware. It is a natural insulator, washable, and non-flammable. Cuvée Leather Kitchenware, chefware, and tableware. Unique kitchenware to complement your favorite place. Create, entertain, and be you.
Briar Patch Co-op and Natural Foods Community Market offers organic produce from over 30 regional farms and buys local organic produce from farms like River Hill, Sweet Roots, First Rain, Pyramid, and Mooney Flat. You can trust the Patch to hold their producers to the highest standards and always be certified organic. So get to the Patch, the Briar Patch, for organic produce.
Grass Valley Hay and Feed Supply is dedicated to the health of your pets and livestock. They offer the top brands in nutrition and carry the complete line of products from Bar Ale and Purina animal feeds, along with Diamond and Canaday. They carry rice and wheat hay bales for your gardening needs, as well as alfalfa, grass hay, and grain for your livestock. It's Grass Valley Hay and Feed Supply, supporting Nevada County agriculture since 1992. Be sure to join us each week right here on NCTV Channel 11 at 6:30 to 7:30, and of course on our YouTube channel, The Food and Farm Show. Welcome back to The Food and Farm Show. A couple of weeks ago, the Food and Farm Show was right here at the demonstration garden for the Master Gardener's Composting Workshop. Our very own Mary Sanikas takes us inside the world of organic decay.
Wait, I'm documenting this. This is Peggy telling about her son's problems, but we're putting like a layer of good aerating browns, and the fruit trees have donated some prunings, and over here the pine tree has dropped some brown twigs just the right size. Sprinkle this on top of our browns. This is the pure 100% fresh, nice and moist horse manure. Okay, that's one layer. The first problem we're illustrating is that we couldn't back right up to it. The second one is that the water's turned off, and so that isn't very helpful, but I brought these jugs that I got out of my recycle bin and put water in them. So we'll see if that works. Everything is an experiment in composting. Okay, so we have 12 bags of manageable manure that we can pick up, which was about 5 days, 2 horses production. Not 24-hour production, but most of the time. So we're going to divide up our water, and we're going to unload 2 bags at a time, add some browns, sprinkle, and see how long our water lasts. This is a real nice green. Green and purple and orange. And it includes coffee, which is quite a green. Eggshells. So we'll just, since we're doing a batch, we'll just sprinkle it evenly as we go. It's important to sprinkle as you go because water from the top will never make it down. This little bin here, to do bulk composting and get heat, you need the very minimum of 3 feet by 3 feet by 3 feet. This one is just not going to do it. Look how small it is. Maybe in the very center you'll get a little heat. And then the BioStack is not a full 36 inches wide, so again you just get a hot core in the middle. And the outer 12 inches, because it's not insulated, it's just going to lose heat. Not going to work. So we're cleaning those out and adding those browns into our nice big pile, which, I don't know, it looks like it's 4 feet by 4 feet by 4 feet, which is also minimal, but 5 feet would be better. Then, as an experiment, we're going to stuff this pallet as a 4th wall. We're going to stuff it with pine needles and see if we can gain any insulation value at all. Okay, we're down to 3 milk jugs full of water. I've added the last of Peggy's vegetable waste. She's been eating, it looks like, splurging on avocados.
Avocados and...
Cantaloupe out of season?
No, that's papaya.
Papaya, okay. This was really basically a light load for my little Toyota truck. We could have used twice this much manure. So this is the stuff that was in the smaller compost containers that lacked the size to get it cooking. This is as full as we're going to go. And we're now adding the dry fall leaves as part of our good thick protective layer of mulch on top.
Oh yeah, look at that.
This is a real compost thermometer. It's quite long. So Peggy is going to insert it now. Peggy is going to use an old horse raincoat that has holes in it. For the purposes of horses, it doesn't work. But it's going to rain tomorrow. Actually, rain might do our compost good, but normally you would cover it. How nature composts. Basically, it feeds itself. So we are going to try to mimic that as best as we can. The way nature, like these trees are dropping their browns, and the browns are then addressed by a universe of decomposers that slowly turn that mulch into food for the roots. So they're counting on that food that they drop, otherwise who's going to feed the trees? If you rake those up, you're kind of like robbing the tree. So the reason to do it yourself is that what you can buy, is a very low quality compost compared to what you can make on your own. And the quality is determined by the diversity of decomposers. And Susan is going to talk a lot about all those micro creatures all the way up to the nibblers and the worms. So what you go and you buy is the product, might be the product of what you've given to green waste, your valuable raw materials that you give to green waste that is carted away with gas-guzzling giant equipment, taken, I think, to Roseville in our case, and then these monster trucks push it around. Because it's in such big volume, they have to turn it constantly or it would explode, incinerate probably. And only one narrow range of decomposers is used, and those are the thermophilic bacteria that create heat by rubbing together when there's volume. So you have one main contributor, and the whole other universe that adds value that you can get them to work for you at home, they're absent. So, and it's been really cooked away to make sure it's safe, and who knows what's in it. It could be pesticides and persistent bad things. And so what you're buying back is this fairly dead product that has now been trucked back to you, and you drive over to buy it. But this valuable material you can make on your own at home.
Part of the things that you will be using at home are the clippings that you generate when you're trimming your hedge, when you are pruning your fruit trees, when you're pruning your ornamentals. Part of it comes from your kitchen, when you're peeling sweet potatoes, when you're cutting off the wilted end of that romaine that you don't want to put in your salad. So you collect all of your kitchen, garden, and yard wastes. You don't want to use weeds that are about to explode with their seeds. That would be bad planning. But all of the waste that is innocuous, you should put into your compost heap. In addition to, all those envelopes you get that say, you have been selected to get a new credit card at only 73% interest. You know how annoyed you get when you get all that mail? Run it through the shredder and put it into your compost heap. It really is satisfying to get rid of all that stuff. You don't want to use something that has shiny paper. You want this kind of paper. But you can take your newspaper. You can take all your junk mail and grind it up, put it in your compost heap, and say, take that, mass marketers.
That's brown, and we'll go into a little bit more detail because we go on, and there are all sorts of different visuals to help you explain that, because it is a confusing point, and that's a question we will address. Now, I don't have current figures for what we have in the landfill, but what I was able to find, can anybody guess what percentage of our landfill is vegetable stuff, is grass clippings, is returnable stuff? Has anybody read anything? 30% or more, depending on your community and how active they are in composting. Where are we going to put all this stuff? So one of our efforts is to reduce the landfill use, but also be responsible about where this stuff goes. It was left here for us to use to return, and so this is being a responsible custodian of your environment. So that's one reason that we like to look at it. Another reason is just the complexity of things that it adds to the soil, and we will go into a little bit more detail. I was trying to think, there's a wonderful resource by Elaine Ingram called Soil Web. Anybody familiar with that? Have they read that? Well, she talks about the interrelationship of all these different microbes, bacteria, biochemical activities that are in the soil that make up the composition of our earth. You just don't stick a plant in the ground, just like you just don't maybe I could try live on Lady Godiva chocolates, you know. You got to have some spinach somewhere along the line, you know. So this is our point. And I was trying to think of an analogy, which I haven't cleared with my coworkers yet, but if you think of the soil like going to the mall, well, you go to the anchor store at Macy's. Okay, well now Macy's is here, and Macy's wants to get bigger and bigger and become more prominent. Now, how do they do that? Well, they have advertisements, they have sales, they have, you know, nice show people. These are all the little organisms that support that plant. And then what brings it to help it grow? It's your customers. Why do they come? They come because of the advertisements, the sales, the things like this. Now, this just came to me as I was driving in this morning. Not sure that really illustrates the point, other than it's an interrelationship of all sorts of different components that, you know, if you're familiar with the term symbiosis, we depend on each other. Macy's couldn't exist without you and me. But what brings us to Macy's or Nordstrom or whatever? So this is a different way of looking at the soil web. We have fungus, we have bacteria, but all of these are fed by the compost. All of these come from the compost. All of these help our Macy's store grow bigger.
Okay, I have here I'm calling this a retro AV aid. This is not low tech.
Where in the heck are you going? Do you want me to help you with this? Oh, yeah. Poster boards. I remember that as a little kid, yeah. That was a very long time ago. Now, is this visible to everybody, or can I help you with this?
This is so retro, it's going to remind you of being in your general science classes in the 9th grade. I don't know if that's a positive thing for you or not. But these are the nutrients that are required by plants. There's a few more micronutrients that I don't have on here because these are the nutrients that are given back to the soil by the compost. And the plants themselves, this macro rating and the micro rating refer to how much of this nutrient the plant wants. So down here, this is, if we were looking at the food triangle, is that what you call it? Food pyramid. For our nutrition, the things we need the most of are on the bottom in big letters. You already are familiar with the nitrogen, the phosphorus, and the potassium. Those are the elements that are on the front of any synthetics or natural fertilizer that you buy, and they give you the NPK ratio. The number there is the percentage in that box by weight of the source of this nutrient. And our advice on how to use that is read the label, do what they say. The plants use the nitrogen for green growth. They use the phosphorus for root growth, flowers, and fruit. And they use the potassium just to keep growing well. They also need major amounts of sulfur, calcium, and magnesium. Now they need little bitty amounts of these. I'll tell you what their names are in case you've forgotten the periodic table after you memorized it. They need very small amounts of these. They're similar to us having vitamins. If we are vitamin deficient on an extreme scale, we can get scurvy, beriberi. Remember all those things? If your plants are micronutrient deficient on an extreme scale, there will be consequences. They won't grow so well. The tips of the growing part will turn brown. They won't flower. They won't set fruit. There's all kinds of negative effects on your plant of lack of these nutrients. The compost will give all these nutrients back to the soil. They have nickel and boron and molybdenum and chlorine, zinc, copper, iron, and manganese. So these are contained in the plants that you put into your compost. It breaks down. It's in the finished compost. You put it on the ground, and the plants grow them back into their own leaves. So we've got a cycle going here. In your compost, we don't call compost a fertilizer. Compost is a soil conditioner because the N, P, and K, the numbers corresponding to the numbers you read on the boxes of fertilizer, they would be for compost 1, 1, and 1. So it's not a major source. That's its percentage by weight in the amount of compost that you've got there. So you don't have a whole lot of it. For the nitrogen, 25% of that is released the first year that it's in or on the soil, 10% the next 2 years, and 5% after that. We, of course, want to add nitrogen every year, so you're getting additional nitrogen from your new compost and the old compost that's already there. But it's not a major source. You're going to need some other kind of fertilizer. Compost is a soil amendment, not a fertilizer. And I have...
And compost is a slow release amendment, unlike a synthetic fertilizer that can dump it all out and then it gets washed out into the environment.
Well, that's our show today from the Master Gardener's annual plant sale. Thanks so much for joining us and being part of Farm TV here in Nevada County.
Remember, you can watch us every Monday night at 6:30 p.m., Comcast Channel 11, and Sunlink 16, Auburn ACTV 20, and 24/7 on our YouTube channel, which is the Food and Farm Show. So until next time.
We'll see you next week, Cheryl.
See ya.
Bye. Be sure to join us each week right here on NCTV Channel 11 at 6:30 to 7:30, and of course on our YouTube channel, The Food and Farm Show.